to God. Well, our passage in 1 Samuel is a really hard one because I resonate with Saul so much. I don't know about you, but when something doesn't happen when I expect it to, my tendency is just to push right through it. And that's what Saul does today. But what this passage teaches is that the means to get somewhere are more important than the end of just getting there. Clearly, for Saul, to obey would have been better than sacrifice. But we struggle to wait. Have you ever had to wait for something and then you didn't know when it was going to come and the timeline is just unclear? Or have you ever had expectations for when something was going to happen and then it doesn't? And what do you do in those situations? Well, this passage invites us to wait for the right time to do the right thing. Because if you do the right thing at the wrong time, it actually is the wrong thing. And as you consider the influence that God has given you, ask Him, what does obedient look like in the sphere of influence that you've given me, Lord? And then get good counsel. That's important. Saul did not have good counsel. He just went on his own and pushed through. I remember when I was 18, someone asked me if I wanted to be a youth pastor for their church. And even though I wanted to be a youth pastor at the time, after a lot of prayer, I just felt like it wasn't the right decision at the moment. It was the right thing, but maybe not the right time. And saying no to that was a really good decision. It was a hard decision because it's exactly what I wanted to be doing. But I think God wanted me to have more training. And ultimately, that trajectory took me somewhere else. The means to get there are more important than the end of just getting there. And Saul had to learn that the hard way. So let's take time to just talk with the Lord about where He's asking you and I to wait for His leading. Where are we struggling to wait? And can we be honest with Him about that and not listen to our tendency to want to push through? I think it's good to recognize that when we hear that tendency in us to just push through, that we should start training ourselves to stop, reflect, and ask God, what does obedience look like here? Let's go ahead and take a moment to be silent before the Lord, and then we'll pray together the Benedictus.